It has to be the champions in waiting, Mamelodi Sundowns. Can Nelson hurry up with the yellow trophy and deliver it to Klurkop?
Why would the trophy be yellow?
I'm going to claim I've been saying since September, give them the league already. I have.
What happens if he starts the season and after 5 games, Chiefs have only won 1?
And we also saw a battle of Ukotini. Hey! That was another battle.
If they lose the Nedbank Cup final, they got 2 games to try and secure that top 8. They need to be in touching distance of Bulelewani City for their final game.
I love this. Ooh.
Could it possibly be the time for us to start chilling the champagne, booking the bus for the parade and getting ready to celebrate? Mamelodi Sundowns are just officially 2 victories away from becoming Betway Premiership champions. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, manene na manenekazi, welcome to the Betway Premiership Review Show.
So, here's how things are shaping up in the Betway Premiership after another pulsating weekend of action. Orlando Pirates, you've got 6 games left to play, which means the maximum points you can finish on is 67. Sundowns, you've got 4 games left to play and 61 points already on the board. With your goal difference of 41 compared to Pirates 18, it basically means that 2 more wins will do it. 6 points out of the next 12 will make the Brazilians champions for the 8th season in a row. Downs picked up their 20th victory of the campaign this past weekend, dispatching the hapless Cape Town City by 2-0. It leaves Sundowns looking destined for the title, and Cape Town City looking destined for the playoffs. The race for the final CAF spot took an interesting twist. Sekhukhune United were held to a 1-1 draw by the inform Magesi. Delano Abrams put the hosts ahead, but Uhizu's late equalizer denied Magesi a 5th league win in a row. It means that Stellenbosch are now just a point behind the 3rd place Sekhukhune after they routed Golden Arrows 3-0 in Hammersdale. Devon Titus kicked things off with a contender for goal of the weekend, and 2 goals in quick succession in the second half saw the points wrapped up for Sergeant Barker's boys, who have now won 3 matches in a row and also have a game in hand over Sekhukhune in the race for African football. TS Galaxy's search for a first league win since mid-March continued as they went down to 10-man Richards Bay. Leno Zikali scored the only goal of the game, which means the Natal Rich Boys need just 1 more point from their final 2 games to guarantee their top-flight status for another season. Amazulu and Polokwane City played out an entertaining 1-1 draw at the Kings Welitini on Friday night. The Boko Mashicho's 7th-minute banger got things underway. Rise and Shine leveled matters from the spot in the second half, and that was how things ended, as the battle for the top 8 intensifies. Down the bottom, SuperSport United's first league win since the 18th of February saw them move 3 points clear of the playoff spot. Bradley Grobler's first half header put Matsatsanza Apitori ahead before Christian Saili scored a beauty to finish off the Chile boys. Last but not least, there was the small matter of the Soweto Derby at the sold-out FNB Stadium. Many of the 90,000 in attendance were still making their way to their seats when Maccabi Lelepo did this.
Solomon's there, and a chance here! And it's Kaizer Chiefs that open the scoring! Lelepo scores in back-to-back games! He opens the scoring against the Congolese!
Evidence Mahopa leveled matters midway through the first half with a well-taken slot into the bottom corner. And then, in the 69th minute, cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Managed to move the ball around a little bit. Hotto, just looking promising. Hotto gets onto it again. Chance here! And they have found the breakthrough. Pirates up in front. It's Rele Mofokeng.
A derby double delight for Orlando Pirates, 2-1, the final score at the FNB.
My name is Vusiwe Ngcobo, and with me to run the rule on this past weekend's games is the man who believes he's a fortune teller. And of course, it can only be Mazola Molefe, as well as the fence sitter, Grant Bisset. Gentlemen, we saw Mamelodi Sundowns dazzle. We saw Amapakania getting another victory against Kaizer Chiefs, doing the double. I'll start with the man who said, give them the trophy already.
Of course.
What was your moment of the weekend?
It has to be the champions in waiting, Mamelodi Sundowns. Can Nelson hurry up with the yellow trophy and deliver it to Klurkop there?
Why would the trophy be yellow?
Because it's Mamelodi Sundowns' trophy.
Indefinitely? For life?
I mean, they are dominating. It will
Ay,
be the
Mazola.
eighth league title in a row.
So we must have a yellow trophy.
Yeah, just like give it to the next 5 seasons, give it to them already.
Okay, but what exactly was the moment?
Yeah,
Is it just the game?
MVP or moment?
Moment.
I suppose in that game, it has to be just how Sundowns applied themselves. Coming off the back of a trip in Cairo. I was there, by the way.
Yes, we know. Betway took you there. Must have been nice.
And then polished performance against Richards Bay. And then even though the coach is moaning yet again.
As always.
And then off to Cape Town. And then, with the depth in the squad, no Peter Shalulile, no problem. Iki Reyners delivers. Marcelo Allende, quality performance, man of the match performance as well. I think Sundowns deserved winners in terms of consistency. Pirates running them close, but they've had, bruises and bumps as well, as we saw with the loss to Sekhukhune United. So I think that's overall polished performance for Mamelodi Sundowns, and 2 more victories and they're wrapping it up.
Okay. I'm going to be nice. I won't say what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I was going to say, Mazola did not surprise me with that moment.
But you just said it. You said
But
you
I
were
might.
going to say it.
Okay.
Not with my
Surprise
moment,
me.
but just building on what he said.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bridge too far for Orlando Pirates. I'm prepared now to say.
No longer the fence sitter.
Only because they need 6 wins, right, to even have a chance. And I'm not saying they can't get those 6 wins in a row, but with the priority maybe being the National Cup,
final.
yeah. And Sundowns just needing the 2 victories because, that's basically an unassailable goal difference to catch up. So the 2 victories are enough. They could get 2, Pirates could get 6. They're still going to win it. They'll be on even points. And Chippa United have never beaten them in the league in 20-something games. They've won 12 out of 13 home games or whatever it is, 11 out of 12. Unbelievable record against Chippa, who they play twice in a row now. So that's probably where the points will come from. And in a season where they have 2 fewer games to get points from and get goals from, they're going to break their own goal record, which is the PSL era goal record. That's going to fall. Three goals from now, that record will fall. So
Super team.
Is that also your moment then?
I'm just going to claim I've been saying since September, give them the league already. I haven't.
No, you haven't.
For moment, I was deliberating between 2. Devon Tata scored an absolute worldie for Stellenbosch, who were probably expected to win that game, though, even though it was away to Arrows. So I'm actually going to go for the young man Mashiko for Amazulu, for setting the tone in that match on Friday night, and because it was his first ever senior goal in a weekend where we were blessed with so many good goals.
Good weekend, yeah.
Toss up between those 2. Pick your favorite, cut the rest out.
He
Okay,
stood
I
on the
like both
fence
of
for
them.
this one as well.
We'll give you both of them. He has a combined moment of Devon Titus as well as Mashiko from Usutu Olumapeshangone. All right, so from that combined moment, we'll move then into the MVP for the week, whether it's your most valuable person, most valuable people, or as we've seen from Grant, most valuable place. Mazon.
Yeah, I think because I've already spent so much time talking about Sundowns as a whole, I wanted to give credit to Coach Ronnie Gabriel and Papi Zotwane at Richards Bay. It wasn't the prettiest of fixtures. You and I were covering it for SABC, and I just thought that the outcome of that game, given that they went a man down after Zikali, brilliant goal, but then he gets sent off. I'm not even sure. I think 2 yellow cards.
It was 2 yellow cards.
Yeah, 2 yellow cards. And then just the maturity of that team from when Brendan Tute came in and looks like they were collapsing, falling apart. And then Ronnie Gabriel comes in and makes the most of what he has. Young players that, sometimes are like, rabbits in headlights, but they are closing off the season.
That is funny. Rabbits and headlights.
They are closing off the season with the gritty performances against a very good TX Galaxy team, I must say, that's likely to finish in the top 5. I just think Ronnie Gabriel and Papi Zotwane have earned an opportunity to start with this team next season. Although, maybe the Parkway guest owner might have a thing or two to say about who the coach
and
actually is. Now that Ulani Mukwena is also available.
Imagine. But they're effectively safe now. In fact, I
they need a point at the very
just to make sure.
Just to make sure. But I think they're okay.
I also get the sense really that even Arrows and Supersport, who are just 3 points ahead of Cape Town City, are also safe in a way because City's
They
goal
have more
difference
games
means that
as well.
they can't just win one and move level on points, even if Arrows, who have so many games in hand, and SuperSport, who have more games in hand, were to lose everything from this point.
Yeah.
Their goal difference is still helping them. So,
it's
Richards Bay, I'll just say now, congratulations.
Then
on
it's how
saving the
rich
status.
boys can
Yeah.
stay being rich in
Really,
the top
yeah.
flight.
Really impressed with Romy Gabriel and Zotwane since they come on as well.
And then for you, Grant, we've gotten past 1 point because you're no longer on the fence with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Answer me now in terms of your MVP for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going to be on the fence, and I'm also not going to pick the player who was
Is it player?
all round.
Player.
It's a player. I actually did the right thing this week. In the SuperSport United victory over Chipper, especially Ndlovu, he has been many times this season, man of the match, and he runs the midfield on his day. But I'm going to pick the man who, he's had so much scrutiny since he came into the country and scores a brilliant goal, Christian Sailor, and it gives him that 2-goal cushion that basically wraps up a game where Chipper were not really a threat. So once they had the 2 goals, I felt like, the points are safe here. And effectively, they haven't yet saved their status, but they have more points to play for than Cape Town City. And again, goal difference it's massively in their favour. So I just felt like that goal took away the nerves. It was so well taken for a man whose return since coming to SuperSport has been so much better than what he managed in Chiefs. So happy for him, hard worker, and shame. I think it's always difficult when your first club in a country is a huge club with a lot of pressure. So
because these are the types of performances he was churning out at Ghana Rangers in Zambia. But once he got to Chiefs, I think the pressure of the shirt, he's a different person now because obviously he's not being mobbed in the street for bad performances or the team doing poorly. He can just go about his business because he plays for a Smolanyana club.
Well, it is certainly congratulations to Christian Sail for being Grant Bisset's MVP. Now, the championship chase, survival scrap, 3rd place, and of course, top 8 tussles gave us 15 fantastic goals in 7 games. Now, these are the ones that thrilled us to make our top 3, which is brought to you by Betway Scores.
One of these two sides will maybe signal the end, as it's a great shot for Amazulu, who take the lead in just the 7th minute.
You look at the technique, you have to marvel at the composure that he shows, the aggression, the persistence that he shows.
But nothing that's really going to upend any of the players. It's a good shot, it's a better shot than just good. Into the back of the net, Stellenbosch FC open the scoring. Devin Titus for the 7th time this season. Stelly score early, and that's a real setback for Abba van der Westende.
Wow, that's another beautifully bent run. Sailor into space. Just Bradley Grobler there. Sailor goes for it and scores an absolute beaut. Wow, what a goal.
Now, Betway Scores App is our MVP. It's the most valuable product. That sounds very Grant Bisset-y. Now, Betway Scores keeps the sports lovers informed with up-to-the-minute scores, statistics, as well as standings. It's basically like having your own SuperJourno and our own super commentator in your own pocket. And while on the subject of MVPs, here is the goalkeeper who showed that they have the most valuable pair of hands. I love this. In the game. This is the Betsaver Save of the weekend.
This one is but still, worth a chance and a great save there. A great routine from Pirates and excellent save from Bruce Vusiwe.
It's all about the delivery there. An in-swinger from Leon Hotto. The touch, I think, was from Koki. And an excellent save from Bruce Vusiwe.
Now, Betway's Betsaver is a slip saver. The innovative feature allows you to secure a portion of your wager, even if you lose a couple of your bets in your multi-bet. It's like missing a penalty, but still winning the game. Now, before we wrap up the show, we have another Soweto Derby that is upon us. And before we talk about the future Soweto Derby, let's just get, in terms of just this Betsaver one, I mean, Betsaver Orlando. Orlando, Soweto, FNB.
I think Coach Nabi got his tactics right the first half. the idea to press Orlando Pirates, not allow them to play their usual flow, and they benefited quite early, 3 minutes into the game, opening.
We were still trying to sit down.
Yeah. You in the suites, me at home on my couch. But
you went to Karash.
But I think in the second half, the Spanish guitar, got his strings right in terms of how to counter what Nabi were doing. And I think it was always sort of obvious. If you look at their overall performances over the season, the Pirates are by far the better team over the last 2 seasons. So even if the Chiefs players can pull themselves up by the bootstraps, Pirates were always going to have a slight edge because of their performances over the season, playing on the African continent in inter-club championships and that. Deserved victory, I thought, because Chiefs completely collapsed in the second half.
And I mean, it was so unfortunate to see Bradley Cross getting that red card, because I think it was probably the hardest working player for Kaizer Chiefs on the field on the day.
He was busy.
And we also saw a battle of Ukotini. Hey! That was another battle. But Grant, let me get your thoughts coming into the next Soweto Derby, which is a big one for both teams, because for Orlando Pirates, they're saying, Padre, we want to send you off nicely with Spanish guitar and have that Nedbank Cup once again.
Yeah.
For Kaizer Chiefs, it's just killing the trophy drought. How do you see this one panning out from a tactical point of view? And do you think that should Kaizer Chiefs lose this game, that could be the end for Nabi?
Oh, man. Yeah, history on the line for both of them. For Chiefs, more to kind of avoid a very, very unwanted record of that 10-year drought. I almost get the sense that Chiefs will be better served not scoring first. And this season, the league alone, they've dropped so many. It's the most in the division. It's 15 from crazy numbers,
positions,
which is the most in the last 10 years. That's as far back as I looked. And I would venture to say fairly assuredly that I doubt there's ever been a season in the PSL era where they've dropped that many points from winning positions.
No.
So let's see how they approach it. And then you're right. If they lose the Nedbank Cup final, they got 2 games to try and secure that top 8. They need to be in touching distance of Polokwane City for their final game. Listen, don't ask me what should happen but yeah.
It's going to be tough. I mean, we saw that press conference after the Soweto Derby getting very heated with Nasreddine Nabi.
Yeah, it was a valid question, I thought. You're at the end of the season, 2 games to go. It's a valid question to ask the coach, do you think you've done enough to stay? How he blows his top, I think it's just the emotion of the game. It's a Soweto Derby. It's a decisive Soweto Derby in terms of lock standings, future, next derby the following week. I don't think the journalist meant to provoke the coach. It's a valid question. The coach will probably look back and think his response also was a bit over the top because it's going to get asked again. If he wins the Nedbank Cup, do you still think you've done enough, even with the Nedbank Cup in the trophy cabinet and a top 8 at hanging by a thread? If he loses, even worse so. The response from the fans, the backlash. So I think, and the coach realizes how big it is to coach a team like Kaizer Chiefs. 10-year drought. It's not his fault that his predecessors didn't end the drought, but he's definitely part of the list in terms of how poorly they've done over the last couple of years since Stuart Baxter. Can you imagine the last time they won a trophy?
It's Baxter's first stint,
2015. It's crazy to even imagine.
Very rare as well for a Kaizer Chiefs coach to lose their first 2 derbies. Last 15 years, it's only been Cavin Johnson and now Nasreddine Nabi. So again, more unwanted history, if you want to call that.
But I think winning the Nedbank Cup probably soothes the hierarchy a little bit to say, okay, he ended a trophy drought. Maybe he needs those transfer windows, like he says, if they get in 5 more, quality players and give him. But also it's a risk. What happens if he starts the season and after 5 games, Chiefs have only won 1. The fans are going to turn again. Then it's a wasted season because then you have to bring in another coach who hasn't had a preseason, who didn't have a say in
who didn't select those players.
Then it's like, starting all over again and it's just we're going around in circles. So, like I said last week,
it's going to be interesting.
Chiefs have a big decision
Grant,
to make.
be short.
Impossible.
We should.
Okay, fine. Let's see.
Because we've spoken quite at length about Nasreddine Nabi. Just your thoughts in terms of Jose Ribeiro, because of course this will then be his final Soweto Derby. It's also an Orlando Pirates team that went from contending from the Champions League and getting kicked out of that. The Betway Premiership, neither here nor there at the moment, but this could be literally the last piece of silverware that he gets an opportunity to lift.
Okay, count me down from 10. Yeah, I think there was obviously the bad week, bad few days. In fact, getting dumped out of the CAF Champions League and then losing to Skukuni, and kind of, in effect, 2 potential titles are gone just like that. I think even if he doesn't win the Nedbank Cup, he's done so much. He's just made the fans believe again. But if he does win the Nedbank Cup, I'm not saying that he won't depart as a legend, but then it's just rubber stamped, because, I mean, you are really setting some... It's a massive piece of history, you know. It's only been done before by Pirates of the 70s to win 3 national cups in succession. I'm going to be personally very sad to see him go. He's been a great addition to the league, and a wonderful and humble man, and a great person to talk to as well, to talk football with. So just from a personal note, sad to see you go, Coach.
It's so sweet. Very sweet there from Grant. We didn't know that side of you, but we love it. That's all we have time for together. We will be back with you on the 19th. By then, Mazola could be singing Phakamiso 8 with Sundowns closing in on their 8th successive league title. It's goodbye from myself, Vusiwe Ngcobo. Mazola Molefe, Grant Bisset, always a pleasure. God bless.